United States 7-day outlook. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching our special news report on the nationwide weather forecast. Over the coming week, the United States will experience major climatic swings, both extreme and contradictory. On the one hand, a powerful storm system is developing and will sweep through many central and northern states, bringing severe thunderstorms, large hail, damaging winds, and even a few rare September tornadoes. On the other hand, a widespread heat wave is returning, driving temperatures in many regions to soar above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 to 38 degrees Celsius, creating sweltering, oppressive conditions just as fall is about to begin. This means that, within a short span of time, Americans will be facing both sides of weather extremes, dangerous storms and oppressive heat. Today's bulletin will give you a comprehensive view of the 7-day forecast, the causes behind this unusual setup, and a longer-term outlook for the remainder of September. Tornado current weather situation. At this moment, the focal point of the U.S. atmosphere is a strong low-pressure system centered over Wyoming and Colorado. This is a rather unusual storm for September, when weather in the central states is usually more stable. The system is drawing a broad band of thunderstorms from New Mexico across the Great Plains up into the Dakotas. Yesterday, parts of the central U.S. already recorded extreme weather, large hail in Colorado and Kansas, powerful winds in the eastern Rockies, with some localities issuing short-term warnings due to downed trees, blocked roads, and flash flood threats. The cause lies in the collision of a strong mid-level disturbance with moist southwesterly winds from the Gulf of Mexico. The resulting lift fuels rapid thunderstorm growth, with hail and damaging winds. Increasing wind shear aloft adds the risk of small tornadoes, known as landspout tornadoes. Meanwhile, much of the east remains relatively calm. From the mid-Atlantic to New England, skies are mostly clear, temperatures near seasonal averages. Florida is the exception. High humidity and sea breezes have sparked daily rounds of thunderstorms. These storms are not tied to any tropical system, but they have caused local flooding in cities like Miami and Orlando. High voltage severe weather forecast. Next 3 days. The next 3 days mark the peak of severe weather activity. Saturday, today, 2 main risk zones extend from the Dakotas south into New Mexico and across the Midwest. About 20 million people are under threat of damaging winds and hail. Tornado risk is low, but possible, especially from Colorado to North Dakota. Sunday, threat levels rise. The risk area expands from the Dakotas through Nebraska into the Texas Panhandle. Forecasters warn of multiple small tornadoes due to strong wind shear around the low-pressure system. This is unusual for September. Outside the typical tornado season, cities like Omaha and Kansas City need to be on high alert. Early next week, Monday to Wednesday, another shortwave trough will track across the northern plains and Midwest, triggering more scattered thunderstorms. Impacts will be more localized, mainly in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Meteorologists stress that while large-scale disasters are unlikely, even a single strong thunderstorm can cause significant damage to homes, vehicles, and infrastructure. Residents in the risk areas should stay alert. Thermometer heat wave returns. While storms rage in the plains, the opposite extreme, dangerous heat, is returning elsewhere. After 2 cooler weeks with Canadian air intrusions, that relief is over. A sprawling high-pressure ridge now dominates the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Great Plains, blocking northern cool fronts. The result? Widespread heat that will last at least through next week. Across the plains, Midwest, and Ohio Valley, daytime highs will range from 80 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 to 35 degrees Celsius. Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois could see readings near 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 to 38 degrees Celsius. With high humidity, feels like temperatures may reach 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 to 43 degrees Celsius, levels dangerous for the elderly, children, and outdoor workers. This heat wave is expected to persist through September 21 to 22 before easing slightly. Still, meteorologists caution another surge of heat is likely since there are no strong signs of major cold fronts reaching deep into the U.S. this month. Tropical cyclone activity in the Atlantic. As the mainland grapples with storms and heat, attention also turns to the Atlantic, where the hurricane season typically peaks in mid-September. At present, things remain relatively quiet, but forecast models agree that activity will increase from mid to late September. A tropical wave has just moved off West Africa into the Atlantic. The National Hurricane Center gives it a 40% chance of development within 7 days. For now, it faces obstacles: thick Saharan dust, dry mid-level air, and strong shear. Models diverge. Some runs show possible strengthening into Tropical Storm Gabrielle, but likely recurving into the open ocean as a fish storm, with no U.S. impact. Another scenario is homegrown development closer to the U.S., in the Florida-Bahamas Gulf region. Local clusters of storms here could spin up into small depressions. While chances are low, these systems form quickly and can make landfall with little warning. Thus, although no storms threaten the U.S. in the next 7 to 10 days, conditions could change rapidly as the environment becomes more favorable. Cloud with rain, heavy rain and flood threats. South Florida, over the next few days, 4 to 6 inches, 100–150 millimeters, of rain is expected. With higher totals along the coast, urban flooding and flash floods are likely. Colorado, New Mexico. Mountainous terrain is prone to flash floods and landslides during heavy rain. Travel through canyons and steep passes will be risky. Upper Midwest, MNWIMI, from now through early next week. Widespread rain of 1 to 3 inches, 25 to 75 millimeters, is forecast, with isolated 4 inches, 100 millimeters. This could disrupt harvest season. Residents are urged to monitor flood alerts, especially in low-lying or river-adjacent areas. Crystal ball 10-day long-range outlook. Looking ahead, meteorologists outline the following key trends. Persistent heat. Apart from the Pacific Northwest and West Coast, much of the U.S. will stay warmer than average. This will likely be the last gasp of summer before fall sets in. Tropical uptick late month. The MJO, Madden-Julian Oscillation, is shifting to a favorable phase, boosting chances of storm formation in the Caribbean and Gulf. Late September could bring a second peak of hurricane season. Potential East Coast system. Some models hint at a coastal low forming offshore around Sept 23 to 25. If it moves inland, it could bring beneficial rain to the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic, but also flooding risks. Conclusion. As we can see, the U.S. weather over the next week paints a picture of sharp contrasts: severe storms across the plains and Midwest, oppressive heat across the Ohio Valley, and a watchful eye on the Atlantic for tropical development. This means Americans must be prepared to handle multiple threats simultaneously, from heat stress, hail, and tornadoes to heavy rains and floods. Our advice: stay closely tuned to official forecasts. Adjust travel plans as needed. Stock up on water and essentials. And always have an emergency plan ready. That concludes our bulletin. Thank you for watching. We wish you a safe, steady week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you in our next update.